Welcome back. I hope you're doing awesome. As a part of this video, we'll understand the brief history of storage that led to RDBMS systems. When the era of modern day computers started, somewhere in 1960s, we were not having any other way of storing the data. The data was just stored in flat files. And then between 1968 to 1980, it was an era of DBMS, means database management systems. Don't get confused this with the RDBMS. It is a DBMS, means it is an era of non-relational database, wherein IBM also created a hierarchical model and it created a DBMS. Somewhere between 1980 till now, it is an era of RDBMS, that is a relational database management system. It is awesome that RDBMS is still the very important way of storing the data. Before we get into the RDBMS, let us understand the DBMS. DBMS was developed by Charles Buckman at Honeywell Network Model. In DBMS, data relationships are represented as a graph. Keeping the ideas developed by Charles Buckman as a model, IBM created a DBMS called IMS hierarchical model. Here in DBMS, data relationships are represented as a tree. For pretty much 10 years, people in the industry were using DBMS. After 10 years, people started realizing, oh, DBMS has some shortcomings. Like if you want to add a field to the database, then it required re-rating the access or modification of the scheme. Then in case of DBMS, emphasis was on the records to be processed, not on the overall structure. So if you have to work in DBMS, user had to know the physical structure of the DB. Those are the important shortcomings of DBMS. So what is the solution then? Solution is right in front of it. It is RDBMS. RDBMS is developed by Edgar F. Card. Look at the thinker who started the RDBMS, which is there for more than 50 years now. Edgar F. Card, we call him as a EF Card, was an Oxford trained mathematician working for San Jose Laboratory in California. In 1970s, EF Card released a paper named A Relational Model of Data for Large Shared Data Banks. This paper mainly emphasized on the data independence from hardware and storage, data independence from the navigation, data independence immaterial of non-procedure language accessing the data. He emphasized in his paper, instead of processing one record at a time, the programmer can use a language to specify the single operations that can be performed across the entire data set. So what exactly is a relation model? Relational model is based on mathematical model of relational algebra. A relational model represents how exactly is the data stored in relational databases. Relational database stores the data in the form of relations. What are relations? Relations are nothing but tables which contain values. Let us understand why relational model is so important. Why relational model is there for more than 50 years now. First and foremost thing is it is simple. It is simpler than the hierarchical and network model which were there prior to the relational model. Relational model is scalable. If you want to add multiple records, nobody is preventing you. You can go on adding the multiple records to the RDBMS. Then relational model emphasizes on structural independence. Means here model is only concerned with the data, not the structure. Of course, relational model is easy to use. One of the very important aspect of the relational model is data independence. Means the structure of the relational database can be changed without having to change the application which is connected to that. Last but not the least, a relational model has a wonderful query capability through which we can retrieve the data or information which we want. Awesome, then we understood a brief history of storage that led to the relational model. Thank you.